This week's segment is called Call It or Scrap It. In this segment, we are going to have Debbie make a statement to us, the hosts, and we are going to decide. It's going to be kind of like a play call. Debbie's going to make a statement. That's our play. And then we have to decide if we want to call the play, we like the statement, we agree with it, or if we want to scrap the play. We don't agree. We don't think it's going to work. So welcome to Call It or Scrap It.
Welcome, Debbie. First time in an appearance since being in Africa.
Hey, guys.
How's it feel to be back on the pod?
Pretty good. Good to get it running again. Good to be back with the gang.
Let's hear it. Let's
All right.
hear the call it or
What do you got
scrap it
for us?
question.
All right. So the play call for this week, and I guess this month, is Aaron Rodgers will not return to his pre-injury form, and the Jets will struggle. Let's start with Austin.
All
What are
right.
your thoughts?
So,
What's the call?
So my call is I'm going to scrap it, personally. Like I said, I have Aaron Rodgers winning comeback player of the year, so I can't very well have Aaron Rodgers struggling and the Jets struggling as well. So I'm going to go ahead and scrap that. The Jets, obviously, like we said, Aaron Rodgers did not play very many snaps last year, and the Jets still managed to go 7-10. They had a chance in those last couple of weeks to still squeeze into the playoffs. Obviously, they didn't. In addition to this, the Jets were starting guys like Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, Brett Rypien, and other scrubs who are never going to see the NFL again. So going 7-10 with those guys as your quarterback, I think, is a feat in and of itself. They didn't lose that many pieces this year. The Jets actually went out and signed 5 new offensive linemen over this offseason, clearly knowing that they need a more solid offensive line in order to not get Aaron Rodgers killed in his first play back. So I think that the Jets are going to be just fine. I think Aaron Rodgers, he's returned from different injuries that people have said are going to hurt him as well. He's torn his MCL in his knee. He's broken his collarbone twice. I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to be just fine. I think he knows better than anyone that he is old and that he needs to be taking care of himself physically as well as himself mentally. So I think anyone who got hurt over this last season, I think Aaron Rodgers is the most capable of coming back, and I think the Jets will be just fine.
Cool. Kadin, what are your thoughts?
I am going to actually call this one. I don't think he's going to be like a terrible quarterback, but I don't think he's going to look like the Aaron Rodgers that we know. Looking at the recent history of players who have torn their Achilles, players like Cam Akers, who was a very good running back before he tore his Achilles, he came back. Obviously, Cam Akers, he's now like a 4th or 5th stringer on the Texans. He played last week in the Hall of Fame game. That tells you the status of Cam Akers now. Tariq Cohen, I think we all remember the couple of years that he was a very, very good, speedy breakaway running back for the Chicago Bears. He tore his Achilles, never got to the same. He just retired a couple of weeks ago. Justice Hill, he was never that amazing, but tore his Achilles, now he's done. Marlon Mack, he had a couple of very good seasons. Tore his Achilles, never heard from him again. J.K. Dobbins, he's torn his Achilles. We know his career's never really gotten off to the right foot. Many players here, I could keep listing players, have torn their Achilles. I mean, there's some anomalies, of course, and Aaron Rodgers could ultimately be one of those anomalies, but I think it's very hard to come back from an Achilles. And then when you add on top of it that he's already 40 years old, there was a lot of hype going into last season. He was 39. But then for some reason, like I know that's absolutely ridiculous, but the age gap from 39 to 40, there's not many 49. Whew, he better not play till he's 49. There's not many 40-year-old QBs that can continue to dominate. Even Tom Brady, once he got up there, obviously he still played great in his 40s, but once he got to like 43, 44, when he was ready to retire, he started to show, all right, look, I got to call it quits. I'm getting too old for this. I think coming off an Achilles injury at that point of your career is going to be very devastating, especially for someone who's already very not mobile. I think that could affect his throwing motion a little bit. And then on top of that, they're saying, I'm sure you've seen it, Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers have had some disagreements, I guess we'll call it, at training camp. There's been videos of them arguing and pointing and yelling back and forth. So if you don't have that great chemistry with your wide receiver one, that is a big concerning flag for me. I'd like my quarterback to have a good chemistry with my wide receiver one. And I know that this training camp and it's the off season and people just need things to talk about. So that could be a big part of that. But it is something to monitor, as well as we haven't seen Garrett Wilson become that elite receiver. We've seen him have incredible seasons. Not incredible. We've seen him have great seasons and produce well with horrible quarterbacks, but we don't know if he's just going to stay that way or if he's going to take that next leap and become that alpha receiver that we all kind of have been hoping he would become. So I think the Jets will be solid. I mean, I think that their defense is enough to carry them as we saw last season, but I do not think that Aaron Rodgers will look like the Aaron Rodgers that we're used to, and I think the Jets will underperform of what we are all expecting.
Interesting takes. You guys can let us know what you guys think in the comment section. But
and if you have any more ideas for call it or scrap it questions, let us know in the comments.
Yes. All right.
Sure.
I'll leave you guys to it.
All right. Well, I think that does it for us this week. Let us know again what you guys think about our takes. Again, if you have any questions about that, or if you have any questions that you would like to hear us answer. We're excited for the segments that we have coming up. So we're really excited again to keep in routine, keep bringing you guys content, and we hope that you enjoyed this episode. So once again, thank you guys for joining us. We will catch you guys next week. New segments. Stay tuned. See you guys around.